just got the Elite wheels. I believe this is called the Edge 50 aerial wheel set. And I did an unboxing of the wheel set just a couple days ago. So do check out that link if you guys are interested in seeing the unboxing and my first impression of those wheel set. The next step, again, as I said, from that unboxing video, I am going to actually replace this. This is the Fuel Chrome, I believe, DB500. It's a fairly heavy entry-level wheel set that was equipped on this Cannondale. And this Cannondale, the spec, otherwise it's stellar. The only downside was the wheel set. So hopefully with the upgrade of the wheel set, this bike can perform the best it can for a 2018 year model. You know, top-end hydraulic disc brake, wireless shifting, endurance bike. And what I did previously was shorten the stem, and I actually have to cut the tube a little bit to shorten the seat post to the same height as my other bike, which you can probably see in the background over there, the Specialized S-Works Roubaix. And there's Friendly Oreo, and this is a Sesame. Okay, so you guys also get a chance to see all my cats in the background videos. So yeah, we're almost at the end. So hopefully with that wheel set, again, super lightweight. This DB500, I believe, is around 17 to 1800 grams. That wheel set is 13.7 or 1300 grams and 1375 grams. So I want to do a fair comparison. So before I switch the wheel set, this is the Fuel Chrome 500 DB, and the weight with everything, cassette, discs, and tires, inner tubes, together, it's about 3 kilos. So 3.039, or yeah, 39 grams. And I'm gonna switch the wheel set, switch the cassette to the new wheel set, and switch the disc to the new wheel set. Everything is gonna be the same. The only thing that's gonna be different is the wheel set itself. And we're gonna compare the updated weight after I finish switching the wheel set. All right, and I got everything off the Fuel Chrome Racing 500. This is a wheel set weight, which is, you know, not bad. It's actually fairly lightweight wheel set for an endurance bike. I reviewed a few other entry-level wheel sets from Giant, the Giant PR1 or PX1, whatever. That wheel set is like super heavy. It's 200 more grams heavier than this, but this is already pretty light. So I'm pretty impressed. Looking over here, the hub is, I feel like it's pretty generic, and there's already marring marks on it with very low miles. So just keep that in mind. Here is the weight of the Elite wheels, Edge 50. 1,393 grams, okay? So when I measured this without the tubeless sealed tape, it was 1,375 grams. So the tape itself is around 20 grams of weight. So do keep that in mind. And again, I'm gonna be using the tubes and whatever. So the weight difference is about 200, yes, about 200 grams. So that's the weight I'm gonna be saving with this wheel set. However, what I'm gonna be gaining is aero advantage with a much wide or much thicker wheel rim width or rim depth, okay? So you gain aero advantage and you lose some weight. Best of both worlds. And the hub, of course, is just, this one is a standard Shimano HG hub. All right, so take a look at the wheel set now that I have switched all the components from the Fuel Chrome 500 Racing to the Elite Wheels Edge 50. This is the actual weight, 2799, so 2800 grams. And compared to previously, that when we weighted everything together, before I took everything apart, The fuel economy with everything was, I think, a little more than 3,000 grams. Keep in mind, the advantage with the elite wheels is you also get the aerodynamic advantage with the 50mm rim depth. Okay, so I'm gonna go back to the bike, readjust the disc brakes because new wheel set, the disc brake require readjustments. I've rode the bike a little bit so I can give you some idea on what I think. And again, this will still pertaining to the first impression of the wheel set, okay? Because I haven't logged enough miles on it. I only put this wheel set onto my Cannondale Synapse. This is the 2018 year model Synapse. And it does come with a crappy wheel set, the Philchrome, I think 500 Racing, whatever. It's a lightweight aluminum wheel set that just doesn't roll as nice as this one. So the moment I put this wheel set on the bike, I think the bike is pretty much transformed into a efficient endurance race machine. Okay, so in terms of rigidity, yes, this wheel is pretty rigid. I do not feel any flex. Now again, I'm not a pro racer. I do my local, joy rides. I do stand up and pedal, and I don't feel any kind of like softness or bending or kind of like a movement during hard pedaling. So I think that's good. In terms of the noise, this wheel set is very, very, very loud. It's one of the loudest wheel set free hub that I've ever owned. Probably due to the fact that it's very hollow and the rim depth is pretty wide as well. That translates to sound projection. Maybe for that matter, it's quite loud. Yeah, just like pedaling, just like doing back pedaling right now, you can hear it's very loud. One tip that I need to mention: if you get any kind of wide wheel set, make sure you get a 60mm or at least a 60mm stem for a 50mm rim depth. I had a few other tubes that were just not deep enough, so I had to come up with a last minute resort, take one tube out of my wife's gravel G45 elite wheels wheel set and put it here to test, but it did work out perfectly fine. And this matte finish, during my initial review, I said it kind of looks bland. However, if you look over here, this bland matte finish actually blends pretty well with my matte finished Synapse, right? So if you have a glossy bike, consider getting one of those wheel set that's glossy to pair up nicely with your bike. But if you do have a matte frame, this wheel set pairs up really, really nicely indeed. The black Elite 50 lettering is not flashy at all, which kind of gives this sleeper bike a nice, good look. So that is the first impression. During the installation, I do not have any issue with what I had with G45 of the free hub. It's very hard to install the cassette. This cassette actually went on there, the SRAM red cassette went on there pretty nicely without any issue at all. And so kudos to them. This free hub, better constructed in my opinion compared to the Drive G45 that I've owned in the past. And front wheel, very easy to install. That little marring mark on the central lock actually didn't affect the mounting of the central lock disc brake. So this disc brake is mounted with an adapter. This is a 6-volt with an adapter mounted onto the Edge 50. No issues at all. A little bit of the noise on the rear wheel. I still need to kind of dial it in. The front wheel went on perfectly, and there are no noise at all on the disc wheel, on the disc rotors. So that's quite nice. And I'm actually, again, quite impressed from this first impression that I'm going to give you guys about the performance of this wheel set. And back to my question that I asked in the first video, is it worth $600? In my opinion, Yes, especially for this bike, which is kind of at the high end range of endurance bike category. However, it does come with a really crappy wheel set, and I think this $600 wheel set actually transformed this bike finally. So I ride on this bike. It's very easy to pedal. I don't feel like I need to putting a lot of force to get this bike just rolling, and it actually rolls forever. So efficiency wise, I think it definitely improved compared to the old wheel set that was on this bike, the Falcon 500 Racing. All right, so that's my first impression. I'll put it out there, and I'm gonna ride this bike a little more, log at least a couple hundred miles, so I can come back and give you guys maybe a final review of the Elite Wheels Edge 50 that you can only buy from AliExpress, and let you guys know what I think, fairly long term, how well this wheel performs. And the first impression, very, very positive. Okay, very, very positive. So if you have doubts about this wheel, I would say just go ahead and buy it, and especially to put on a fairly higher end bike that came with a factory crappy wheel set. This wheel set will transform your bike. All right, so if you guys found this video helpful, do give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, because later on I will have the long-term review coming out for you guys as well, and I'm gonna have more bicycle related videos coming out. Okay, so thanks again, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.